What's up, everybody? Let me get my stuff kind of positioned here. It's been a little bit. We'll see how we get going. I'm sure the chat box will work again on us. It always needs a kick. So yeah, I did start a little bit early, but no point in hanging around. It's just chilling. The lightning storm killed 2 of your PTZs. Well, luckily we didn't have any of those. The cameras died during last month's little storm, so um, I don't know if coax. Um, I was gonna pull up one of the photos I had of it. Let's see if I can find it while we're kind of waiting here. I don't know if I posted this. I think I did in Discord. Um, but this was one of the if you missed the little live stream I did on a whim. This was we died around the stream died because of the ISP where the cameras were located, and it died. I want to say it was like 105 or 115 or something like that. And I thought we were going to have like 45 minutes of battery life for the battery backup, but we were going along. I saw the lights go off across the street, and then probably I think like 10 minutes later, the ISP dropped off. So, which was once we went to the area, I found out that, well, that's probably why it was just totally knocked out. But they did get power back, and so the first thing I did, I was like, well, I want to see how long the DVR recorded. So it did last about 45, 50 minutes. And this was one of the little clips that I pulled. And I did actually pull all the video. I haven't gone through all of it. It's mostly just a bunch of this. But so there was stuff and dirt everywhere. But yeah, Jim, I think that was an interesting stream with lots of lots of political trolls from either side, and that hurricanes were fake and this was fake and this was all made up. So that was interesting. So, but yeah, the other picture I have of it was after. Let me resize it. I'll stick this one over there. Yeah, so this is the same exact camera. It's just, of course, the dates are a lot different. And no, this stuff wasn't hanging here. And I know people have always asked, hey, the braces, did you put them there? No, we didn't put those braces. The neighbor did that. So, but no crazy damage to that house, but there was a lot of damage in that area. So, but I thought it was kind of cool to pull back the frame on there. So, yep. So, where's my stuff at? Wearing mask prevents hurricanes. Yeah, I guess if you just put the mask over your eyes, then you just can't see it, and it's just all fake. So, but and one thing I was curious about is pretty much all of the cameras, I was listening to them, all of the microphones did fill up with water, and it sounded like they were underwater with all the wind. And then I wanted to see if they were still going to work, and sure enough, they did. They still worked after they dried out. So, yep, yeah, it was pretty. I want to say in that area they had 130-mile-an-hour winds, and that went on for several hours. So I know that the damage to that, well, I said there wasn't much damage to that home. We didn't appear to be, but I'm not a roofer, of course. But the adjuster came and said, yeah, the whole entire roof was lifted off, all the shingles, and so they got to get the whole new roof replaced on it. So, but So that brings us to this guy is, and I know we've been all kind of been waiting for this. I have, and several other of us have. Um, and if, oh, I guess I should say, and no, this wasn't a commercial or anything for I didn't like those cameras were the Real Link one I did. Um, it was basically this one. I'll send the link over to it. It was when I did the video. When I did the video for with the probably back in January or something like that. Yeah, it's just it was just a 4K. There were bullets, and they stayed fine. I didn't have to readjust them or anything. So, the one I did, I only had 4 cameras though. So, yep. So, back to the one at hand is Martin Jerry had said that they were going to come out with a new dimmer, and they've been. I talked to him about a few things on it, and I'm trying to get my windows set up here. I don't want to kill the wrong window. And I did get one in, and they did send me one. So, but I did not. There's no paid affiliation or anything like that with Martin Jerry. I just like their original dimmers, the very first one they did. I know you've probably seen a few videos on it. I've used it just a couple times, but this was the original one, was because it had the various. There was no MCU in it, so you had 3 buttons. You had the up and down, and then you had the power, and then you could control the status lights, and you could do really all kind of different projects. Like I did the iFan stuff, and I use it all the time. And then now, with multi-press, you can even do 6 actions per button, and you can do long presses. So it's really a versatile dimmer. But with this one, they did go with an MCU on it, and it does have this, let's say, I don't know, it looks like it reminds me of the Xbox 360 from the front of it, except with the it doesn't have the lights around it, but it's the same exact little power button. No, Josh, I've not done, I know Veli, yeah, the Red Ring of Death, Will. Those are Z-Wave typically. I'm not really a big Z-Wave person. I've had too many issues with Z-Wave in the past. So, yeah, the Red Ring of Death. So it does have that rotary thing, and instead of, let's see, this is the little guy here, and I got it on the desk here, and I'll show it to you. Yes, it is. Actually, that's one of the things that we did notice. I think it was Matt Virus saw it. Was on one of the pictures. If you look at the 4th picture, and if I can scroll it around and see it, you can actually see they did show even the little Tuya module there, which I thought was kind of cool. That I've never seen anybody else that I know of on Amazon pictures show, clear TYWE3S on there. So, yes, it is a it it is a rotary wheel. So, but I'll show. Let's pull it up here. Let me turn the light on, which I do not like. My new light is way too bright. But hey, it works great for cameras. I'm gonna let the camera adjust, hopefully. And my zoom because the auto zoom sucks. Okay. So this is the new one here. And yeah, it's root beer. It's always the root beer. So this one here, it does have, it's kind of, I don't know, it's not clicky, but you can kind of feel like little ridges to it. So it kind of sets in, and then it is a clicky button. I would say it's not clicky, but it just has some very, very minute, I don't know, ridges inside. And yeah, that is that Cliff quick test. And yeah, go look at the price on Amazon on those now. Buy those from Newark. So yeah, it's got, yeah, exact detent. There you go. And they do have all the LEDs here. And there's one button here. I think that's, I don't even know what that button is. I haven't messed with it. I haven't paired it. And then there's a little rocker here that says Wi-Fi and then restart. And what's funny, I'll show you this. I just got to be real. Is you'll notice a problem with the box. So let's see. You'll notice a problem with the box if let me see if I can kind of get this to stick out here. If you compare the two images, so yeah. But so yeah, it does say trailing edge versus triac. And I know that's without getting crazy technical because there's a lot of different articles on it and stuff. No, this one is not three-way. You can see it just has load, live, neutral, and ground. And they do show it as 100 to 240 volts doing 50 and 60 hertz. Up to 150 watts LED, 150 CFL, and 400 incandescent, but you shouldn't be using that. Yeah, I've actually heard of several people. I don't know what it is code-wise. I've actually heard of several people swapping out their boxes in the UK and some other countries. Because I know I dig around some of the websites. There's a ton of different dimmers and switches and everything in the US markets. Well, typically the power supplies, they'll list them and they'll work at 240 volts, 50 hertz. So I've actually seen people actually import or make 3D print their own boxes that are US sized or Canada size as well. I don't know what other country uses this size. And they actually so they can use these dimmers and stuff because there's just so many of them. But so yeah, the restart was on the original. You just may not have known it. It was right here at the bottom. It's kind of hard to see because it's just so white. It's white combined with the white on there. But on the previous one, it just hooked up to the reset line on the ESP chip. So it was really just like pushing the reset button on your computer. It would just reset. Yeah, the dimmer options, they just suck on, I wish they would do some of the other sizes. So I'll just be blunt right off the bat. I still like, this is still going to be my favorite. They do make that other one. I don't have it right in front of me. The Tessin one that has a different faceplate. It just has the 3 buttons. But mainly because of the looks, and even when my wife, I showed her to her, and she just basically said, you're not putting that in the house. She didn't like the looks of it, but it is just, some people may like the looks of it. I don't know. I'm kind of jaded on it. I think the big thing for me was this big button with I think it's lit up. So, but we'll fire it up here. And side little PSA. No, I have not tried this with Tuya Convert. I do not expect it to work with Tuya Convert. I could be wrong. I could try it. But what I wanted to get a backup of it first, and I was going to try to do Tuya Convert on it. So, but yeah, so it's a little button in there, and but a little PSA time before you do any to your convert stuff, or you really start tearing into your switches. You don't have to pair them. Plug it up to a little power supply, not a power supply, a little power cable or whatever, and just test the switch and see if it works. Because sometimes you may get a bum switch and like, well, did I mess it up trying to convert it or open it up or whatever. So, but let me get my little board here. And move all of this without breaking my board and breaking anything else. Without moving everything. What do you say, Martin, Jerry? Cell phone comes. So let me wire this guy up right quick and situate the cameras. Or camera. All right, hey Alex, I appreciate it. Thank you, sir. I think you were, didn't I? I think I helped you last time with some Node Red, I believe. I think it's what we were doing some both multi-press, I think. It's been a while. All right, we'll do, and this is just, if you haven't seen this, this is my little board here. Let me see if I can back this up here without blinding me. I remember the icon. That's what helped me. So this little board is just where I have power. This is my air gap, so I know it's disconnected. And so I just plug in. This is live right now, this entire plug. I'll plug this in, and this will light up this section here, and then I have boxes, and this is just a high-tech diffuser for the light bulb. So, yeah, memory's not always that. I just remember some, I don't want to say stupid things, but just weird things. So let's see. Hold on 1 second. Let me wire this guy up. If I remember how I did this, I should probably label this. And, all right. So, yeah, Josh, I had, and I don't want to go on the entire Z-Wave spiel again. Z-Wave's fine if it works great for you, but I just didn't have, I had bad luck with it. And I tried a few hubs and everything, and, but yeah, the Z-Wave was just too expensive for me and unreliable. So, so yeah, this basically is going to just dim the light bulb that's under the cup, which we don't need to be on frame because then we blind out the cameras. So let's get closer to this so y'all can see this thing, and I'll fix the focus. All right, let's juice this thing up and hope it doesn't smoke, right? I'm pretty sure I have it right. We'll find out. All right. See, now we need to have one like ooh the Tasmodo. And you got to say it Tasmodo, not Tasmota. So let me turn, the lights are very dim on this, which I think because they had a number of probably complaints from people because they're putting these in bedrooms. And the lights are they're very dim. I probably should not have, but see, it's going to kind of blow out. We'll see. It makes everything red. Which one? Which was black wire? No, these, that's not exposed hot. What that is, that goes to a, if I want to hook up a smart bulb, the way this goes is this is hot here. So the wire comes from the left, goes to these Wagos, and if I want to tie in some other stuff, constant power, I can. And I don't have anything, so it's really just passing from here to the right. And then over here, everything is closed up. I don't have anything exposed. The wires you see off to the side down here, those are actually three-way wires in case I want to do a three-way config, a true three-way config from this box to this box here. And then I can run a light out to here to do like, say, a three-way, a three-way switch to here. Or I can do like say I want to do a device groups and I want to control smart bulbs. So it's really just for all kind of different configurations without having to move a bunch of wires around, just move the Wago connectors around and call it a day. So it kind of allows me to test like everything on one board. So I know it kind of looks like when I get done, I'll back up the camera, and because I got to move the mic out the way, the mic boom, and I'll back up the camera and kind of show you. So back to the dimmer. So this is the, oh, it does light up. You can see it's kind of it almost looks yellow on the camera. It's hard to see. Oh, it's lit up all the time too. Yeah, it's lit up all the time. Now this button, I'm not sure what that button does. Maybe I should look in the book. I don't know. I don't read books. Yeah, it does look yellow. Oh, that's the night light. Duh. I haven't paired it yet. That's the night light feature they talked about, where you could, if you wanted to be able to find the switch in the dark, you could turn the night light on and off. Oh, look, there you go. Mark's answering it. See, y'all are actually reading it, and I'm not. So it does, you can change the dimming when it's off. And that is a little 15 watt bulb, but it's, well, I mean, not 15 watt, it's actually a 15 watt equivalent. And it is getting dimmer, but the camera's adjusting because the camera iris is on auto, so it's adjusting. It doesn't look like it's getting dimmer. Now, one thing this one does have is on the bottom here, there's another wheel, and you can change the dimmer range. I do prefer this method. The only downside to it is if you change the bulbs, you're gonna have to pull the switch back out the wall to change the low end on the dimmer range. But you're not having to mess with it in software or nothing like that. I kind of prefer that wheel method. I know their three-way dimmer had that, but the three-way dimmer at first was RTL chipset, so I didn't use them. But so yeah, it does work fine and everything is, I mean, it's just straight up a dimmer. So it's kind of weird. I don't know. Because sometimes I prefer on the regular dimmer, we would hold down the up and that would do our favorite to like 80 or 90%. And then if we wanted 20, I would just hold the bottom, boom, it would go. Because this is an MCU, because everything's going to be tied in the MCU, you're not going to be able to do the button presses. You're just going to be able to send dimmer commands to it. Much like you do with, like, if you've ever tried to do a bunch of custom stuff with, say, a Treat Life dimmers, it's going to be kind of the same. So they do claim, and I know they've told a couple of people as well, so it's not like this is new news, I've told them many times that we need a DIY switch for the DIY crowd, and they're supposed to come out with one. I don't know if it's going to have an MCU or not, but it's going to have pin headers on it forced, and they're wanting me to do an instructional thing of show you how to flash it, which I was going to show you how to flash it anyway, right? But so they're supposed to be, that one's supposed to be flashable, easy for flashable. So yeah, there is a three-way dimmer that can be, I forgot the name of it, like EV Logic, but I didn't really like the look of it. And again, it has a MCU. So, but I want to unplug this guy because what fun is it? And I know they probably didn't want me to do this, but let's see if I got the right plug. Yes. Is take it apart. So they did on the three-way, I haven't messed with it. On the three-way dimmer that looks like the other one, supposedly they did change to an ESP chip, but I haven't bought one yet. Every time I say MCU, huh? That's right. Let me move this junk out the way. Oh, I was going to show you the board. Shut up. So let me take all this junk off of here. So you can see a little better. Let me turn the blinding light back on. The gates to heaven open. Let's see if I can do this without tearing up my stuff. All right, that's a little easier. And focus. So, I'm a screwdriver. So the power comes in through this wire on the left, which might be hard to see. It comes into this box here. It lights up the two plugs. And if I want to follow my own rules, it comes in here, and so these two plugs would be lit up if I have it on the wall. And then this is my air gap. It comes out here. It goes to these Wago connectors. So this is kind of like my central junction of power. And then it goes over here to this box right now in this config. And if I wanted to, I could do a three-way configuration here and then feed, say, a bulb here. Now, I have this here because at one time I was powering up this bottom left socket as a constant power source for like a smart bulb. And what I was doing was using the device groups for feature of Tasmota to where you could control a smart bulb from a light switch on the wall, but yet still have all the colors and brightness and stuff from a smart bulb, but yet still retain your wall control. So that's the little test board. And we'll take off the dimmer here. And I will say it was killing me. I had a bunch of work to do on Sunday. I was hoping to do this live stream on Sunday. Yeah, I want to say it was the EVA Logic or something like that. Now I got my stuff all out of whack. Yeah, that is a problem, Mark. So, where's my spudger? Let me see if I can get this open without tearing up all my stuff. Too much stuff on the ground. Would you recommend... Well, I normally during the day, I think he's more during the day on Sundays or whatever days. And just during the day for me is just not doable. it's always going to be usually evening for me, unless sometimes I get one in on Friday. So I know that kind of sucks for some other time zones, but it is what it is, I guess. So let me adjust this here. So it's pretty much like the other one. It does just pop open. It's not glued together. And let me situate this mic differently, and I may have to go off camera, but a bit. So this same thing on the other one is the ground is just this plate, and do hook up all your grounds. I know sometimes people say, well, I got a plastic box and I don't need a ground, and I'm gonna screw up my camera if I do that. I don't need a ground, but you never know when someone's gonna come behind you and put a metal faceplate. So it looks like there's a temperature sensor that's on. There's two MOSFETs in here. If I see down the bottom, along next to that relay. But you can unscrew it if you need to, but I would unplug this. And I'm going to get closer to this guy. And I'll fix the zoom and try not to make it glare. There we go. Yeah, so there's the little wheels on the bottom. That's the dimmer range. And that is your TYW E3S. And this is that secondary MCU. Now, I don't get... maybe you guys can comment. I'm not sure what this was trying to do, really. I did pop one of the clips, but oh well. This right here, this bit of glue, I guess was supposed to be farther down to the left. But those wires are, it just seems to me like that I wouldn't solder or anything like that myself. It's just their wires are stripped so far back and then they're soldered to the board. And it's just like that's waiting for something to happen. But I guess everybody's not going to be opening the switch, I guess. And I mean, there was a bunch of, I don't know, yeah, exactly, strain relief. Yeah, they got it a little too high. Yeah, it looked kind of sketch to me as well. Now, one thing I did notice is, you see up here, it says download. Let me see if I can get a little closer without blowing out the damn lens and shaking the damn camera. I did pin these out, and they go to ground. There's the left one's ground. You can see it's hooked to the ground plane, and it goes to RX, TX, and 3V3 volts on the Tuya module. So they did kind of like try to put a pin header, and they're big enough for like a breadboard jumper fits right in it. I had to kind of shove it in there. This is that other MCU, and I mean, everything looked kind of, I don't know. I didn't like the look of some of the stuff. It's some of the not better or worse. But yeah, GPIO 0, you can immediately tell the GPIO 0 is not broken out, because GPIO 0 is 1, 2, 3, 4 up on the right hand side, and there's nothing on that pin. So I guess they tried a little bit on doing the download, breaking it out, but then I went ahead and tried to do just putting the jig on it. Yeah, I'm hoping that this is, and I ordered this one from Amazon. I mean, so it's not like one that they sent me, some special, first run. Oh, I guess it was first run, but I ordered this from Amazon. It got delivered by Amazon. So, it works, but so. Yeah, I don't think there was 0 on the other side. I didn't see anything tied to it. There's not a whole lot on the other side of the board. There's the regular AMS 1117 voltage regulator to drop from 5 to 3.3. And my mic's way over here. Didn't realize it. But Yeah, so it's now the problem I have with it, and I did try multiple times because I wanted to here what I wanted to do was I wanted before I even touched it, I did test it, make sure it dimmed a bulb and turned on and off. And so that worked out fine. I did not pair it. And then I said, well, I want to grab just a backup of the entire chip. Then I'll go ahead and pair it and see, yeah, pair it into you. I'll see how it works. But I could not get the ESP to wake up or listen to the programmer because I think it's some of the same issues like I ran into with the fan controller. The RX and TX are tied to this MCU. And I don't know if I got a better picture of it. Everything was in a like PDF, not PDF, but it was in graphical format. Let me pull this up and I'll change the screen. This is that secondary MCU. And if we Google that, SC92F7323X, it comes up with this guy here. And maybe I should ask her for some live help on how to hold the reset pin down. But if it's only 8-bit flash, only 243. Now they had the specifications. Here's the same chip. And they do have the pin out for it, which is good. And I did see it had there's the reset pin on it. And like I've had to do with some of the other dimmers is do this is exactly what I'm thinking, Rambozo. Is either cut the trace or it may be difficult because the traces were on right here. You could see they were on pin 7 and pin 8. I did pin them out and they did go to pin 7 and pin 8. So I knew where pin 6 was. I tried to hold it to ground and it did not work. So I was thinking maybe to lift either VDD or VSS, maybe. I don't know how difficult that would be because there's a bunch of epoxy next to it. Or I was going to trace it out and see if there was like another capacitor or resistor that was a little easier that you could just unsolder or something like that. But I was hoping you could just put the hold down reset, because reset was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This guy right here. Yeah, that may work. I tried to, and see, I didn't know. I said, well, maybe you got to do high to do reset. But so then I said, well, okay, well, let's go find out. Let's look at the data sheet, right? Well, then this happened. And so if anybody wants to help us out with I don't know if anybody knows anybody that can read that. That would be great to see if what they want. They may not even say what the reset is. So I thought about Google Translate, but it's a picture. I don't know if maybe you have to do, was it OCR? Do they do OCR on this? Yeah. So that's kind of where I got it, and I'd already spent way too much time, and I had work stuff to do. So yeah, I'll give you the links to it if anybody wants to find out, because I would like to pull the backup of it before I just try to convert, because I know I've talked about this several times. Is there may be some weird Tuya, non-Tuya protocol that I need the packets to where we can do the serial communications. And I know Patrick was looking at it earlier. He first saw it's only at 8 kilobyte flash, and the EEPROM is 128 bytes, and the RAM is 256 bytes. So there's like the MCU is like nothing. So, view picture from your phone with Google Translate. Will translate in real time. I think Jim's just trying to get me to show my phone on stream again, and where I shouldn't show my phone on stream. That's what it is. Never did that one before. I don't know. Well, I'll mess with that. So that's kind of where you can hold your camera over the phone within the app. I don't think I have the Google Translate app. I've used just the Discord. I posted in English. Patrick, he already did it. Did he do it? Or Phil or somebody? Oh, look, there you go. Let's see. We can copy all this. Let's see. Do they show us anything? 4 levels, optional control, anti-drying ability. That's cool. Non-normal fit should be used in all kinds. Internet control, large. Get my head out the way. Yeah, nothing. Nothing really there. Yep. So I'm gonna mess with it probably a little more, if I can, because I want to pull a backup of it first and see. So I'll probably be the next day or two, and I'll probably post it like in Discord, or if I get something on it, I'll get. Yeah, that's what it kind of looked like. I'll get the post something like on the little YouTube, or no, I don't have a scope at all. I have not made it to that level. So use the English PDF. Where's the English PDF? Did you post that too? But now y'all are showing did Patrick, oh look, he found it. Let's see. Or he's getting me to click on some weird PDF to go pull up on a live stream. What are they on? AOL dial-up or something? Well, wow. Yeah, so yeah, we can actually read this one. I appreciate it, Patrick. Indeed. Stop squinting at my screen. Maybe I should hit the zoom in button. Do we see anything about the reset pin? Oh, it's still loading page 2. 1 of 25. Wow. Well, hell, maybe that might finish the rest of the stream. Yeah. Now you got me curious. SOCMC. Oh, so SOCMCU.com. Look, it's only pinging 200 milliseconds. I know that's not bandwidth, but so we on page 2 yet? Yep. Going through the NSA. Yep, exactly. Yeah, I haven't seen. What if I can just search for RST, or is that really going to throw it a fit? External reset, page 27. Oh, we there yet? Can be used as a reset. The user can configure as a non-reset. I wonder if they set as a non-reset before programming. Has no reset function, but is still used when the power, therefore. See, I did pull it down. That should reset it, but I wonder if it's actually the other RX and TX being tied to that MCU. Is it pulling it down and not basically kind of eating the voltage up in that chip, so it's not ever letting us get in there. Let's see. I'll post that. Maybe someone else can just for that's in the chat, so everyone else can do the Reddit hug. So, so that's kind of where I'm at with that. I guess before we beat it to death, yeah, Jared, that's what I'm wondering. The ESP S32 S2. I think there was something on Hackaday I saw that someone on some particular version, which is funny, I joked about it on one of the streams, was that someone's going to find a way to get by the encryption if you encrypted the bootloader or the flash on that ESP32 S2. If I'm saying it right, too many at 32s. And sure enough, there was a version that they said ESP32 S2, I think it was like glitch. I think it was on Hackaday or something. Yeah, here it is. Was it maybe? No. Maybe someone can find it. There was one which they had like a V3 that fixed it, to quietly fix it, but it was a hardware issue. It says pull down before power on. See, I did that. So yeah, so solder a 10K jumper to reset. Power off, add a 10K. Okay, I'm gonna give that a try because I'm not gonna bore y'all with the me trying to solder that small on a live stream and staring off into space. That would be I'm just not gonna go there. So it has that good drying effect, Andrew. You put water on it. So I guess before any other crazy questions, before I got one other little thing, and then we'll jump to just kind of whatever we want to do. So in case anybody wanted to see, I didn't show this, the guts of in here closer. Let me make sure the zoom is fixed on that before. If anybody wants to pause it later in another video, not video, in a view. I didn't pull it out of the box. Yeah, my little arm's moving way zoomed in like that. Sorry. So, pretty cool little thing, but the build quality wasn't there for me. So I'm sure all the EEs are going, ooh, cool. So y'all can kind of do your assessment. If I can see, that looks like the relay at the top, but I'm trying to read on the side of it. So, yeah, this right here that's for the other side to plug in. So, but other than that, I'm kind of curious to see the DIY mode. But the other thing we talked about, I haven't messed with it at all yet, is on Let's close all my Google Photos stuff before I show you all my boring Google Photos. I'm probably going to butcher his name in Discord. It's like Teddy Dior or something like that. I'm probably going to butcher it way big time. He's probably going to get mad at me, but oh well. This one here was, I thought was kind of cool. With someone, I think I found it in one of the Home Assistant Discords. And this may be not maybe old news to you guys. But if you read the description, I know they are round plugs. I don't like the round plugs at all. It says freely update firmware. And that is, they had a 1-pack and a 2-pack, and I said, what the hell? Yeah, EV blog. That's I like that one too. It said freely update firmware, and so I just haven't done it. It's like support.doiting. How you say it? I don't ask me to pronounce anything, which is really funny given where I live at, where they have such crazy names for rivers and streets and everything. Doiting. There you go. Gotta break it down for me, the phonetics, I guess. So I haven't done it yet because of, where was it at? I went in here, upgrade to third-party firmware. Because they want you to download some software and install it on your computer. And I'm not going to install this on my streaming rig that I use for everything else pretty much. I was going to try and mess with this procedure and see how this works with trying to do your little... But they basically showing you how to take this plug, buy it off Amazon, and load your own firmware on it, which is pretty cool. Yeah, and I definitely is going to be either just a little computer that I have another computer that I just use for whatever, and I'll just basically air gap it anyway. Or I thought I may just put them on a router by themselves, just totally air gapped in the network. Yeah. They have made it way too difficult. Yeah, and sometimes I don't totally trust stuff that's not air gapped for me. So on something like this, so before I messed with it, I was just I've got an old router. I'll throw an old router with no internet and throw this plug and that computer on it and let it eat. Yeah, the only thing I thought it was interesting because there's no power. I didn't see power monitoring listed, and I thought it was cool that someone was doing this, where you could update your own firmware. But by the time you did all this, you might as well just buy, say, a Shelly plug or something. It's probably a little more, but you can update those without jumping through hoops. Just throw a thing in with the web browser. Yeah, it's kind of what I was wanting to kind of play with. So, yeah, and the S31s is... I haven't done it yet, but the little... have you seen on Thingiverse? They make a little clip for the S31 where you can do a little jig clip and you can just clip it on to the S31. So, till you convert, there's not a whole lot until you convert anymore. Do it at the neighbors. Yeah, the neighbor would appreciate that. They probably wouldn't know any different. So what does till you convert work on? I know we get that question. I get that question a lot. It does work on... It worked on the Loha's... Was it 100 watt LED? If I can find it. Smart bulb. Yeah, it was this one. and they had them on sale. Look, there's only 19 of them left. They had them on sale the other day where you could get them for like $6 or $7 US. And I went ahead. A couple of us bought some, and it does to you convert works, and this is the older model. It's just cool white combined with the 3 RGB colors. Yeah, and it does have it's this guy here, and it's pretty heavy. It's like, I think I weighed it like 200 and something grams. And if you pop the top off, it's just like I showed my bulb video that nobody watched. It does have the pin headers underneath. So yeah, they're pretty easy to pop off, but let's see. Yeah, so if you hadn't seen, we don't need that close. Let me fix the focus here, if I won't shake it too much. Is this one? See, it has ground, RX, TX, 3v3, and then looks like 100. That's GPIO 0. So, yeah, I could probably could do a pretty good job at making a 20-minute video of probably just weighing light bulbs. I could probably pull that off too. So, so yeah. So I do like this. Now this doesn't have that warm white channel. Yeah, it's getting less and less. Like the BN link plugs we used to like. I haven't seen. I mean, I know some people are getting them, but some of them won't work. Oh, so you're probably, Sir Goodenough, if you're talking about the, do I have that box around me? The Atom stuff, where I guess it's like the Aviato of Silicon Valley. Oh yeah, so Will has a bunch of stuff too, if you're for the Canadian folks. So, but the Atom stuff, the only issue, I didn't have it, but I know a couple other people did, is they said that they had, I need to change my screen, is they were having issues with updating their firmware, and I just reset everything to defaults, and then I upgraded the firmware, and it was fine. Someone else had to, they upgraded the firmware on it because they had like 8.4, I believe, and they upgraded to a regular stock build, and then they had to do the power recovery on it. So, but these do come with, I was really impressed with the bulb. It says it was, yeah, see, it says 8.3, but there was more. It is a 5-channel PWM. It said it was only equivalent to a 7-watt, but it hung in there for like some of the 9 watts. So, so the older Martin Jerry dimmer switches, Hutch, if you're, as far as I know, let me see. This is, I'm going to make sure. The regular single poles are, the price changes so much. They look like they're around $20 a pop right now if I did the 2-pack. But they're, yeah, so that's these. And they're still, as far as I know, they're still to you convert. I did get some 3-ways and singles. I haven't heard anybody say that they're not to you convert working on them, but if, and the switches were also, I want to say there was the switches, they were like they were pretty cheap and not even on sale really. I don't know if they were trying to get rid of old stock or this was the switches. Set option 30. What is that one? Is that this? Maybe I'm thinking 68. So yeah, the switches. Now these aren't dimmers. The switches were pretty cheap as well. And for the 4-pack, they were like $12 a switch, but they're still till you convert. And if they're not, they're actually, you can do them. I did an old, it's funny how things go full circle. This is the Martin Jerry switch 2-way, and you can actually they still had the pins actually broken out for you, and you could use the plug, and you didn't even need a jig or anything. You could do it with some breadboard jumpers if you had to. This is the dimmer. You can do it from the other side as well. It's just this picture's from the other side of the board, and they also had the pins as well, or you could do the jig. So I don't know. I didn't do the link. You may want to. Yeah. Now I will say Treat Life switches, the 3-ways, and the fan. Now the fans. Is that the fan? That's not the fan controller, is it? Because this one, the fan controller, yeah, the fan controller, I wasn't able to do that one till you convert. That's kind of where the jig kind of, I said there's got to be a better way than soldering and start digging around. So, yeah, fan control and 3-ways don't TC. Okay, yeah. Yeah, and that's basically it's kind of what we're gonna have to be looking for, stuff that's just gonna go back full circle and do the single poles. Yeah, do I still have it up here? One second. So this is the Treat Life. I gotta put it on there, and yeah, I'll answer that question. This is that Treat Life. It looks like this. I think it's the 2-way. And let me fix the thing so they can see it, Travis. But you can open this one, and it's really simple. You just pop it open, and you can get to the pins if you want to do like the jig thing or however you want to do these if they don't till you convert. So I do always like a device that even if they do till you convert, I just give a device props that we can get into and do a plan B. So the reason why I like the Martin Jerry's is the switches at the time when they came out with the switches is not many switches at the time had a controllable LED, and this one had red and blue, which you could do what you wanted with. And then we like the look of them, and they weren't as clicky. And let's see. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So this is so I don't own any, if there is stock, I don't own any stock in Martin Jerry. I don't get any, other than just like say any type of Amazon affiliate links. I don't get any kickback from Martin Jerry, anything like that. Now they have sent me, I don't even think they sent me the first dimmer. But they have sent me a couple other little things. So, but this is, and that's a sticker on there. That's why you're seeing that, it's that bubble. It's not really, and it just has that one little dim light. And since it is controllable by you, it's not tied to the relay. You can also use the new feature in Tasmodo, which is the LED PWM dimming command. So you can make them dimmer if you want the LEDs for at night. And I just like the look of them. That's going to annoy me on the camera. Versus the Treat Life ones. And the Treat Life ones have, I want to say they have a red and a white LED right here. But just to see, it's got more of a distance to push it than this one. This one, you can see there's not a whole lot of travel to it. Now you can still do either, you know, if you want to push this to do like long press, you can still do long press. You can do the multi press on either of them. There's no MCUs on them. So, but now one thing that's really cool is you can use, now you could do the same thing here, but I think it's easier here. You could use the light as a notification light. Like say for instance, and I've done this one, I haven't done it in a video, but you could do this one where if your dryer's running, you could do the red LED. If the washer machine's running, you could do the blue LED. Well, then if it's purple, then you know that the washer and the dryer is running. And you would base that off of, say, some automations and stuff like with power monitoring. But to hear the difference, and I don't want to click my mouse because then I'll be clicking on stuff. But I guess I can right click or find to click. So this is, I think, holding the same distance. Yeah, definitely the RGB switches. So that's, if you can hear this Logitech mouse versus this is the Treat Life one. So it's more of a clicky sound, and this one, it may sound more like a hollow kind of bump, and I don't find it as loud. It may sound louder right now, but once I have it in the box, it's not as loud. I think it resonates through the actual case itself. So, so yeah, that's kind of why I like them. And then there's really, with this guy, there's just no contest with the regular, with the regular dimmer here. They have just all the controls and stuff you can do. It's absolutely, it's hands down one of my favorite. So, so what did I not catch up on? Yeah, and it's all down to whatever you want and you like. The functions of the switches, I mean, they're probably, not that I would do it, but they're probably all 15 amp, I'm assuming. I'm not switching anything 15 amp. No, these are 10 amp. But I mean, that's 10 amp there. This was probably what do they have here? It's 1800 watts, it says, but I guess they're trying to do it not in amps. So I don't know yet if that one works in Tasmodo because I got to do some modifications to get a backup of it. So yeah, I had another one. I had another video of I did the AO Coker, if I'm saying it right. That switch has got some crazy click to it. No, not user error. I actually messed with it probably way too long on Sunday, and so there's the MCU is getting in the way. So we'll see. What else did we want to? Oh, did I miss something? I missed Alex's. Alex did it earlier, didn't he? Yeah, I think that Alex did earlier. We were talking about. I remember when I helped him with Node Red last time, I believe. Yep. So I do appreciate that, Will. And there's all kind of it's weird. A bunch of different people named Will. So, um, let's see if I can turn off. Let's see how long we've been. We've been right at an hour. Yep, that's it. So with this guy, oh, it's more than an hour. I don't know why that page had lagged behind. It's an hour and 13, and it just updated from 59 minutes to an hour and 13. I do not know why I did that. Let's see. Yeah, yeah. You want to see how much those home seer switches are? Yeah, you'll freak out when you see the price on like $50. So, if I can remember that, I can't not remember the IP address to this guy. I'll pull up the interface on this one here. Device clients 203. And we'll drag this over here and switch screens. Now, sometimes people may take that the other way, Will. You're calling out somebody like you want to call them out for a match. Let's see if I can put up this here. And you'll be able to see. Yeah, so this is that. I'm sure everybody's seen the Martin Jerry dimmers, but this is just why I like this. I know it looks bright because I got the light off. Those LEDs look blown out a little bit, but being able to do all of the long press and double press, and I don't know, maybe we'll get to be able to do something like that with the, but I just don't. I don't have my hopes up on that yet. So, yeah, because see, you can do the long press on this dimmer. That's button 1. You can do the long press on the button 3. Yeah, the only, you can control LED 2, 3, and 4, but LED 1, the blue LED, and the relay are all tied into one pin. And so you would have to do some sort of modification. They actually used every single GPIO pin that they could, except for GPIO 2. And I've actually seen somebody do a dimmer like this and then add a PIR sensor to it using that GPIO 2. So, excuse me. So a couple things I wanted to, we were talking about, I know I always assume that everybody always knows how they can send stuff from device to device and do MQTT, but I wanted to show like every single, if I can do it in MQTT Explorer, or we could do it from, we could do it straight from Home Assistant, right? And this is just my little test box. But we were talking about doing a bunch of colors and stuff. And where do they hide this on me? I know you have to go to like integrations now, and then MQTT, and then you had to, was it system options or something? Where'd they put the MQTT publish stuff at? They always move everything on me. I think it's just to screw with me. Or screw with everybody. Yeah, configuration. And it should be, oh, just in it, 'cause it's like in the integration, isn't it? Configure. Yeah, there it is. I was so used to going to services and everything. I will show you. Someone gave me, yeah, so I was used to going to dev tools and all that, and they moved it. Is someone, oh, he's in the Discord. He showed me this on, and so I put shortcuts to mine on my production side, and this just saved me so much time. Is I got a button to go to integrations. I got a button to go to MQTT devices. I got a button to go to server control. It's sweet. I don't have to go dig through them stupid menus anymore. Way too many clicks for me. It drives me nuts. So if I want to show, like in here, if you want to send, like, I know if you want to send, say, like we were talking about the scheme and everything, but you can send I don't know if everybody knows this, but in the commands, I got to get a little bit of Tasmodo teach school in here, right? Any of the commands, and if you go on the wiki and you look at any of the commands, and there's tons of the commands. And so if you wanted to do anything, if you wanted to do like a status, if you wanted to do a restart, if you wanted to do a OTA upgrade, you could do it all from MQTT. So all you have to do is know the topic and usually it's not a problem, but knowing the order of the topics. But if you go in and you click the right window and send to a particular one, if you wanted to, you could do in here. Oh, why did I freeze up? Did I freeze? Oh, I froze for a second. And why is it freezing again? Yep. It's like it froze all of Streamlabs and everything. Like everything. So hopefully we'll be back. And see, they wanted to jinx me. Okay, it still shows excellent. Okay. Yeah, it's a PSK error. Yep. So if you wanted to send anything, any command, like say if you just wanted to send, I don't know what's a good command. Watch, we could just send IP address. I know it's not really helpful, but you could send IP address, and the case doesn't matter on the command. The case does matter on the topic, and the payload, I'm going to send none. And you could send publish, and it will publish this straight to the switch. And if you flip over to the switch, you can see it sent over that command of IP address. And so you can send over pretty much anything you want. So if you wanted to, you could also, like say, send over OTA is upgrade. You could send over the upgrade command, and upgrade it straight from from Home Assistant, or whatever you want to use to send over MQTT. You could, whether you want to use MQTT Explorer, Node-RED, or if you even want to do a automation. Yeah, you can do, yeah, don't reset one. No, we're not going to do that right now. But if you wanted to restart And this is one thing I see people trying to do is they'll try to do this. And so because you're kind of used to doing the restart one or whatever, don't do, this is the topic, but then the payload is the value you're going to send it to. And then you're going to send, so you'll send publish, and that's going to restart that switch. I just heard it click. And we should see the reboot and pulls up. Yeah. You could really mess some stuff up. So be careful, because if you come in here and you know, one would be really crazy is if like you did like pulse timer and did like a pulse timer, made all your lights blink in the house. You could send over you know, a dimmer command at one time, and you could also send, if you want to send backlogs, you can send backlogs as well. YouTube is not receiving enough. Is it being clear or not? It says not receiving enough. You can send over all the you can send over backlogs too. Like if you wanted to do like color to, like say if you're sending it to a light, you could do color, say 255, 0, and that would set them all. And then say you want to send some other, you want to do a delay of 20, and then you want to do color 0,25500. So you could send that over if you wanted to, or you could do all kinds of stuff. But so it's really powerful that you can send over pretty much any command in the crazy amount of stuff here. I'm just trying to think of actually some different commands that would be useful. And right off the bat, now one thing you may want to look at, which is cool, is the newer versions. If you type, remember we just had one group topic, is you only had one group topic before. And what a group topic is, is most of them are defaulted to Tasmotas. How fast delay in between. I don't know how fast the delay does. I'm not sure. Haven't played it because it just dumps that command off. You may want to, if you want to do that in a loop, it'd probably be something better you would do with like an automation or Node-RED or something like that. So typically what the group topics are is you may want to come in, you'll come in here and set like, you know, like say if I had group topic 2 and I may put like, I should probably have some bulbs to see this. I could do like living room. And I want to say you can do, it's like 50 milliseconds in between some of the backlogs, but then you can cut them back down. And that's a good topic I wanted to talk about, sir. Good enough. Is now if you notice I have 2 group topics, and typically everything is going to have a group topic of Tasmotas and then I just set a group topic of living room. And if I wanted to turn off or send a command just to the living room stuff, well, to send to a group topic is you would just put the exact, and you could do power toggle. And anything with a group topic of living room would listen to that power toggle or whatever. Look, I told y'all not to do it that way, and I just did it. Anything would listen to that toggle. And yeah, so I do that, the statuses on my little startup script. I'll show you that. And if you published it, you should see now it toggled. Of course, if I had more set up on that group topic, then it would do. So you can kind of group things together. Like if you wanted like a bunch of multi-sensors and you want to send just one command, it's really helpful. I use it in an area where I have like say 6 lights, and I want to do a rule from a switch, but I don't want to write that rule out to post 6 times, which you end up with a delay in all the lights because it's like hitting light 1 through 6. I just want to send to that one group topic at once. So, no, this is on that test box again. Yeah, now I kind of use both. I use the light groups in HA because then they're great to control there, but I want to be able to send a command straight to MQTT to those 6 lights without having to build a node red or home automation and send it out and then go through home assistant and then back through. I like to just send them straight to the lights. Now, Sir Goodenough brought up a good thing. If you are going to change your Wi-Fi configuration on your networks, couple things. I know everybody's kind of has done this at one time. Is I would go through, just so you don't get locked out, is I would go through no matter what, go ahead and you can use the group topic and push a Wi-Fi config to all of your devices just to start out. And now that if they're not set like that, they're going to go into access point mode for 180 seconds and then come back. But it's going to prevent you from locking yourself out if you screw up the Wi-Fi config. And then once you do that, you can do a backlog and send a backlog to them to set the Wi-Fi. Now, what I would do is basically what you're trying to do is in the configuration of the Wi-Fi is you want to use both these slots, is basically set your old network to AP2 and set your new to AP1, and then save that to your devices. And that way, if for some reason they don't want to transition over, you still have a fallback, plus you still have the fallback for the Wi-Fi config too. I've seen so many times people have gone in there and just changed the Wi-Fi, and then they have some password that's not compatible, or there's some SSID that's not compatible with Arduino, and then they end up basically kind of getting locked out of their device. Then they gotta, if they had power recovery still enabled, then they had the power recovery, and it's just, yeah, Wi-Fi config 2 and set up both networks for the time being during that transition. So, yeah, it's just, it takes a little bit more time, but you'll save yourself time and frustration of locking out of a device. So, yeah. So, I didn't really have anything else. I don't know if there was some other question that was someone. Oh, the where's it at? This one I like to still use. They are working on it. FL is working on it. I still like to use my little script here, and I will link it. Is this here is, notice I'm publishing to the old Sonoffs and I'm publishing to the Tasmotas, and I just publish same thing we just did. I publish a command backlog, and I publish power 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you have something more than 5 relays, you'd probably want to expand that. And I send dimmer and I send state. If you have different sensors you want to, you may want to send like the status. I think it's status 5, I think it is, that does, I forgot which one does the temperature stuff. Otherwise, you got to wait for the telemetry. But basically what happens is when Home Assistant starts, when it starts and it says, now in the newer version, it says Home Assistant has started and the whole GUI's up, then this runs. And it will basically force all of your switches and dimmers and bulbs and everything to just spit out their states. And so it will make the right, everything will be in the correct state in Home Assistant. So yeah, okay, status 8. Yeah, I know status 8 is also the state of like the switches and stuff. Well, I don't have anything on here, just shows the time. But so yeah, I do that one, and they are working on. And I haven't tested it in the 115. Is it 4 now? Is they have FL made it where the topic, it watches Home Assistant to be online or offline in MQTT, like its own last will and testament. But the problem was it was sending out that last will and testament too early. And so Home Assistant wasn't ready to listen to get all those states back. And so it was kind of pointless. So all the stuff spit out everything, but it wasn't listening. So then the status didn't update. So I still had to use this. So this is kind of the fix for the time being in that. So, but, so yeah, and everything I do is auto discovery. And I did hear, I don't know if you guys saw this. This is probably one of the last things I'll leave you with before I have to go. If I can find it. If they still have it open. Did I post it? Yeah. Right there. A couple up, Jim. Yeah, maybe we'll do, if I can get the back, I want to get the backup. I'm anything that has an MCU, I always want to get a backup. How many times I've had to go back is crazy, and I had to go get stuff. Oh, hey, Rick, I appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Definitely appreciate it. Set option 40. Now, I don't know if you guys saw this. They actually are working on a custom, and just for you, Ricker. Oh, and there you go, John Farmer. I do appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Both of you. They are working on a custom integration, and I did the wrong screen. I got too many screens. Yeah, so they are working on a custom integration, and it's basically what I've understood is once, and don't quote me on this because it's all kind of happening, is basically once you do the turn on the auto discovery in Tasmota, basically all you would do is flip over to Home Assistant. You would see it saying notification, new device, and you're rocking and rolling. So, oh, I appreciate it. Hey, thank you, Ivan. Thank you, sir. Yeah, so that's gonna be that's really gonna be, I'll say, a game changer. There is for doing the little custom integration straight into Home Assistant, but because it's just basically going to remove a barrier for some of the people. Because I know some of that stuff, I know auto discovery's made it easier, but I know I've had actually people like, hey, I did auto discovery, but then I don't see it saying new device. Well, you actually got to go find it. So, what else did we have? There was one other thing. Oh, I need to go look up what was the set option? Set option 30. What was the set option? That's the light to switch. You'll probably still need that if you. Yeah, you seriously always got to be one. Maybe I pushed the dislike. Always got to be one dislike. Is the 30 for, because you don't know if you're putting this switch. What if you're putting this on something other than a light, or you are putting it in a light? So I can still see you need to do that. So, and if you do get a chance, and I know probably I had some people message me about the last video. Yeah, that was really a joke. I did that on purpose. We were doing it as a test, just to see clickbait title, clickbait. It's a real video. Don't get me wrong. Clickbait title, clickbait thumbnails, how they work. But we've got about the same amount of views, and my OCD is getting to me, so I'm probably going to change it to the real title and thumbnail soon. So it was the one about doing the pass-through Ethernet stuff. So yeah, Sean, that one's I'm trying to think what else you'd have in your wall that we'd change. I mean, you could do as a fan, or if you had maybe a switch that went to a plug. I know that happens a lot in some homes. You have the switch that controls an outlet, and it may not be a light that's hooked up to it. You got something else hooked up to it. So, so. But other than that, I got one other thing that I'll show you, and I'm gonna call out somebody, and no, this is moving. I'm moving stuff out the way. This is it's, I'm gonna say it. He's probably not on here, but it's all Zero Cool's fault. No, and not actually. It isn't. I was already starting to look at this stuff, but he's been helping me out a lot. Let me grab it. I posted a picture. I know Jim saw. I haven't finished everything on it, and let me get the camera done. But it's kind of right up my alley. I'm not switching a bunch of stuff over to do this. It's just one of the other hobbies. It kind of fits in. If I can find my thing to go with. So this has been kind of my get to play with stuff, because it has a lot of soldering involved. So yeah, it's kind of your build your own quadcopter with for FPV. I don't know if you've ever played around with some of that stuff. So yeah, so this is not your GPS type stuff, and if you want to see a bunch of cool stuff, there's a guy named Joshua Bardwell. If you just bored, you want to go look at just how they fly and stuff like that. I'll link his channel here. It give you some different material to go and watch if you get bored. So yeah, no, it was kind of cool because you basically get to solder the ESC on the bottom, which is the speed controller. Let me fix the zoom. You got to solder all the motor wires. They are like PWM. There's kind of the same thing. There's flashing the different radios, and there's actually I2C stuff. There's it's some of the same some of the same stuff applies, because there's like UARTs, and there's 5 volts, and there's 3.3 volts, and there's different size batteries and voltage. And yeah, this is the 6-cell battery, so a 14 gauge wire to it. So yeah, it's kind of cool. It's a little, it's not like any of the DJI, like the stabilization drones. It's way different than that. Let me get, as you can see, the controller is a little different. And there's a big learning curve to, this is the controller I have here. There's a little, it's definitely a lot different than some of the controllers you've seen with some of the like DJI drones and stuff like that. But yeah, probably that cap is this is the little screen here for showing the setup and stuff like that. So it just is another little different hobby. I've always been into remote control stuff, so it seemed pretty appropriate to me, and so I'm kind of get into it as well. So the cap was just, yeah, the cap's kind of weird. It came with it. But there is, I know there's a bunch of caps on everything else. I think it's just to deal with some of the different if you're doing punch outs and stuff like that. So, yeah, this one, I haven't, you know, I'm trying to, I don't haven't remember the weight of it exactly because the battery is pretty bulky, Will. Let me see. Yeah, the battery is pretty bulky to it, so it's probably, you know, gonna be your heaviest part. And I haven't weighed everything. I hadn't put it all together yet and everything, so I've just been playing, you know, playing around with it. So, yeah, the 250 grams you can probably get away with. Same thing here. You do have to register the anything over 250. You can do the Mavic Mini, which that one's 249 grams without the SD card. So I don't see the weight on there. Let's just see. Now you got me curious. We on grams? Yeah, we're on grams. Let me get all the stuff out the way. Let's see. What is this weigh right now? Let's see. 0. We are at, oh yeah, that's going to be 303 right now. And the battery is 231. So, yeah, I have a couple other drones. And I know one of my, it's really, what kind of got me into it is the Mavic Mini. Let's see. I can find that one. Mavic Mini. And this is one of the combos. Yeah, and no, I am not up to the level of being able to come tell you about all the drones and everything. But this one, I know I'm mentioning it because it's they have it 249 grams without the SD card. So I want to say it actually says it on the arm. It says like 249 grams or something like that. So, so yeah, that's my last little thing I've been playing with, I guess, because it has all the soldering and flashing and everything else you know, to do stuff with. So, but no, I'm not up to any level. There's way tons of more people to do drone videos and stuff for. So I may use them in a couple clips here and there, and I may have some stuff at the end at the videos just for the little nuggets. Sometimes I put at the end of videos. That's about it. So, any other questions before we have to jet out of here? I do have work, and it is 10 o'clock my time, and probably late for everybody else, especially Eastern time and whatever else it may be. Yeah, 1 gram under. And I know I want to see that where it was like Mavic Mini 249. Yeah, look, see, 249 grams. Why did DJI create a 249 gram drone? Well, I think everybody else knows. And I'm assuming the micro SD card probably weighs 1 gram. So, but other than that, we'll try to do another one. I do appreciate all the super chats and watching and hanging out and whatever and doing, and try to get back on track here. And hopefully my other hobbies won't take up too much of my time. So, No, it did not, because and I won't make you rewind, Caleb. Way too late. Sorry. Um, the it's the MCU is messing up. Is blocking the RX and TX right now, so it may take a hardware modification to flash this guy if it doesn't work with 2U convert. So I doubt it will.